Okay, we are recording.
This meeting of the Bisbee Design Review Board is called to order by Lori Gannell at 5:30 p.m. I will now do roll call. Ed Briggs.
Here.
Peter Gafford, absent. Stephen Green, absent. Lori Gannell, here. Ben Lepley.
Here.
Doug Taylor, absent. Ted Schriever.
Here.
Frank Davis, counsel.
Here.
Staff.
Yep.
Okay, great. So we do have a forum. No old business to go over, so new business today. Call to the public. The residents of the city of Bisbee may speak at this time regarding any design review board topics that are not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything? I'll let this person come in. Hello?
That's fine. He's with the city.
He's with the city. Okay, great. So no business, so I'll close the call to the public. And we will move to agenda item number 1, application 23-55511C Bailey Hill. Nina King, if you'd step up to the microphone, please.
You have to open
Oh, sorry. I have to open
the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, so yes, first I will open the public hearing.
Or, excuse me, application, then open the public hearing, is what I'm saying. Make sure you do that after.
Oh, after this?
Yes.
Okay. Go
Sorry.
ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I was trying to make sure you had it.
Because you know I'm always getting things mixed up, so I trust you to set me straight. Thank you, go ahead.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. This is my
Just tell
first
us
time.
what you're applying for.
Oh, I am applying for a porch that's on the southeast corner of my home, way in the back of the house where nobody can see it. It's 85 square feet. It has been weathered, ruined by the weather because of the design. It has a pergola, I think that's what they call it, sort of roof, and wooden boards at the bottom, and the sun comes through. It's probably the most intense side of my house. And the weather has just beat it to crap, so it's all rotten and fallen off, and now every time I step out of the back porch, it's falling through. So one of these days, it's gonna fall through. So I'm proposing, in order to make it a better usable space, I'd like to take that part down and rebuild it, same, pretty much floor space and all that. But I want to cover it so I'm not getting hit by the rain and the sun, so I could use the space better. And I'd like to screen it, and there's a reason why I'd like to screen it in. Because I have a room, which is the living room, and it has no windows that open, right? That's the way they designed the houses. I know they have to go through the board to get windows put in. It's probably going to be really a challenge. So this way, if I screen this porch in, I can open the doors, because there's French doors there, open them to get air and to get that hot sun out of the living room. So not only are there no windows in the living room that open, it's all windows, wall to wall, basically windows. So I get sun in there and no air to be able to move through there. So it's an area of the yard, nobody can see it, right? And for the most part, that's pretty much what I'm proposing, to make this a more usable space and to make the house a better condition as far as to live in and to cool it off, especially during the hotter months. So that's pretty much what I'm proposing.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I will now open, so you can have a seat and we'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that would like to speak for or against this application at this time? Okay, we have no public comments, none were submitted. So close the public comments and go to staff comments.
I'm neither here nor there on it. I'm okay, but I don't see what the roofing is for the porch.
Okay, so we'll ask that when we open the board hearing. Okay, so All right, so closing staff comments, opening the board discussion. I would also like to know what the materials are. If you
Okay.
want to step up again.
Okay.
What the materials are that you'll be using for this.
Right. Okay, so for the roof, I've had a new roof put on a couple years ago. It's a metal roof. And so I'd like the porch to have the same metal roof. It's a corrugated steel metal roof. And basically, I guess the framing would be wood, but I also found a kit that's aluminum with the screen that fits right in there for 8 by 8 feet, you know, so, and then a door. The floor, what used to be a wooden floor, now I would like to make a floor that looks like wood, but make it in porcelain. I don't want slats in the floor, because if I'm gonna open doors and have that area ventilated, I don't want little critters coming through the little slats in the wood. So I'm looking to do a porcelain indoor-outdoor floor that looks like wood, is what I'm doing.
Okay, this is the door that you're talking about, and it's wood.
That's a wood door, yes.
That's a wood door. Okay.
And the frame would be wood, and the kit's in there too, the aluminum kit.
Okay, and this is the kit,
Yes,
and it's aluminum and screening.
right. Now the porch is all planked because somebody's gonna fall through it, so I got all that wood, that's what you see on there.
Okay,
All that wood going all different ways, so if one of the boards go, I don't go through the floor.
so the wood's rotting already. in
It's
there.
all rotted, all up above. When the guy came to do my roof, I asked him, would you put the roof on the porch? And he said, that whole structure is rotten. There's no way I could put a roof on that porch. So that's what made me, because I would have loved if they would have, you know, been able to use what they had. It sure would be less money for me. It's pretty much gonna be the same sizing and everything, but when they said they couldn't save it like that, so it's just better to get it taken down.
And where your house is located, it's kind of in the middle of stuff, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you don't really see this part of it from
You
the street
can't
at
see
all.
anything. You can't even hardly see it when you're in the yard. Like, you don't even really know it's there.
Okay.
And we did the 350 feet all the way around. You can't see anything. The whole area is very private and very concealed, which I like.
Okay. Does anybody have questions? Questions?
No.
Mr. Shreve? Nothing? Okay, do we have a motion for this application?
I'll make a motion that DRB item 23-55 be approved. I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Mr. Wepley. All in favor say aye. All against say nay. Okay, your application passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck with your porch.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, moving along, we'll go to agenda item 2, application 23-57, and this is 119 Star Avenue solar panels. Come on up and make your case.
Hi, we come from Our World Energy, we're the company, not the homeowner, but we would like to petition for solar
Can
panels.
you speak into the mic? Yeah, because we're recording too.
Oh, okay.
There you go, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, we would like to put solar panels on the homeowner's property, on the roof. It's gonna be a metal, it's gonna be a solar roof install. We're submitting because it's a historic building. So, we should be able to go ahead and install. We're gonna do an in-phase electrical system. It's gonna combine to the solar panels so they can produce. We're putting IQMs on the homeowners. We're not doing any electrical upgrades at all. We're just gonna go ahead and install a utility breaker, which is within the regulations of the 120% rule. Any other questions?
So the solar panels that you're installing, are they on both sides of the roof?
No, they're just on the.
It's just in the back?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
They're not, they shouldn't be visible, but they should be able to produce.
Okay,
You'll need to open the public hearing.
Okay, so yeah, now I'd like to open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that would like to speak either in favor or against this application? Okay, nobody? Anything submitted?
Yes, we had the one that was submitted, and they were in favor. Burkert.
Okay, great. All right, I will now close the public hearing, and any staff comments?
Will the panels be visible from the road?
They shouldn't be, that's why we located them to the back of the house.
Okay, and now I will open the board discussion. Anybody have questions? Okay.
Yeah, it looks good, it's way in the back of the house.
They're at the panels, right? So for the DRB, really the only thing we care about is aesthetics and historic things. So are the solar panels same exact pitch as the roof? Like they're not, it's not like tilted at a different angle?
No, we're going to go ahead and use a cross railing system to make sure they're not going to be tilted, they're level there.
So they're parallel with the roof?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Phone calls, anything?
I can make a motion.
Okay,
I'd like to approve application 2357 and just ensuring that the solar panels maintain the same pitch as the roof.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All against say nay. Okay, the application passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right. Moving right along to our item number 3, application 23-58, 109 Higgins Avenue. This is also solar panels. And,
Two sides.
yes, so come on up and, oh.
Hello. I have plan sets too, if you guys don't have them, if you want to look at them.
Okay, I
They
think
have
we
everything that you
have
submitted.
Everything.
Perfect. Came prepared just in case.
Okay.
Always good.
Much like the last application, we're petitioning to install solar panels on the roof. We're going to be installing on the existing metal roof, so it will not be replaced. Don't have to do any type of upgrades or changes to it. These panels will be visible in the front of the house. We have 2 arrays, one in the back, one in the front. They will be matching the same pitch of the roof, so they will not be tilted in any way. They will be at the same slope. Aesthetics-wise, we have gone with an REC 365, which is just the brand, but more specifically, the reason for it is they are triple black panels. So they don't have white lines, they don't have silver on the siding. They are all sleek, completely black. So they don't stick out very much. I know I've noticed, especially when you get into like the brushed aluminum siding, when the sun hits it, you can see the reflection. Same thing with the white lines in the panels. It becomes very noticeable and sticks out. These panels specifically are all black everywhere, so they don't have anything that stick out as far as looks go.
Okay, so I'll open it up to the public hearing. Anybody have anything to say about this for or against this application? And I don't think we received anything. All right, I will close public hearing and open for staff comments. Okay, all right, closing that, opening the board discussion. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about them being on both sides of the house so that they are visible from the street.
Absolutely, understood. I understand that the historic district, obviously, we want to keep the house as close as possible to maintain that history. The reason that we went for both sides of this house was based upon the specific homeowner's usage and how much electricity they consume per month. Having panels on both sides is going to give them the maximum chance to produce as much solar as they can, save money on their bill, backfeed into the grid as well, so that way we can continue to use renewable energy as opposed to this homeowner pulling so much from the grid, paying so much on their solar bills, so on and so forth. To me, the color of the roof, it is a very dark roof as is. So the black panels are gonna sit up nicely up on that roof. It is not white or anything else where it stick out like a sore thumb. It's almost like a darkish gray, like a slate color. So you will see a little bit of a difference because it's black to gray, but otherwise it's going to be a lot closer than it would be if it was white.
I don't have any objection, I mean, compared to an AC unit or a water tank or something else on the roof. I mean, if they're matching the pitch, they've already made a sacrifice by having some on the northwest side. That's solar-wise, that's a huge sacrifice already, so,
Absolutely.
you know, I'm fine with it as is.
Anybody else?
How flush are these panels to the roof?
They sit, the brackets that go inside of the roof, so it looks almost like an L foot. So there is a portion that sits to the roof, and then the bracket that stands off is about 3 or 4 inches tall. And then there's a small hook that attaches to it. It'll be less than 6 inches off the roof, so it'll be fairly flush to the roof. They won't stick up and be facing the street. You won't be able to see anything other than the bottom portion of it when you're on the ground.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make one.
Okay,
Motion to approve application 2358, so long as solar panels are close to the roof and at the same angle as the roof.
okay, I will second the motion to approve application 23-58. All in favor say aye. Aye. All against say nay. Okay, the application is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, moving right along to agenda item 4, application 23-60, 43 Shearer Avenue, replace a window.
Joe is going to be,
Oh, Joe.
Mr. Ward's going to be presenting.
There's an ugly old horizontal sliding EXO mill finish that's existing in that bathroom. And Johnny
Joe,
showed-
could you speak into the microphone, please? Just I can't hear you.
there was an old existing horizontal sliding EXO mill finish that was, you know, inappropriate for the historic district. And Johnny showed me the one that he was wanting to put on, which I see at the back. You guys think right now, I see it. Yeah. And I thought that was much more appropriate. And I'm willing to stand up here
Okay,
and represent it because I appreciate what he's
This
doing.
is, Johnny's picture was a little faded, so I just want to let you
oh,
know
that's the
what
actual.
that's
yeah,
the
I like
actual
it.
window. The homeowner sent it to me.
Yeah, it's cool.
So his was a little faded, so I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Ward. Anybody, I'm going to open the public comments. Anybody have an opinion for or against this application?
Nope.
Speak now for a moment, please. Okay. Nobody, so I will close that and open up the board discussion. I actually like the window a lot better than what's there.
Oh, yeah. I know the homeowners are very conscientious. They want to bring it more into historic preservation.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, do we have a motion? All right, if everybody's shy, I will make a motion to approve application 23-60 as is.
I'll second.
That's seconded by Mr. Schriever. All in favor say aye.
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 All against say nay. No nays, the ayes have it. Application 23-60 passes unanimously. Okay. All right, moving along, we're doing great today. This is application 23-64, 61 Main Street, also known as the Grand Hotel. Come on up.
Hello.
Hello.
So I did want to get out in front of something. We did get red tagged, but I've only been in the maintenance position for about a month and a half. I took over for the other guy. They had already had this project planned out and everything before I showed up, so this is all new to me. but I will be sure to do this beforehand next time. So what the project was installing 3 mini splits in the bar restaurant area of the Bisbee Grand. And in order to do that, what they had planned out was to run the lines outside the front of the building onto the roof where the main units of the mini split will sit, or are sitting now. After that, they were going to do a sheet metal gutter that matches and will be running right alongside the rain gutter that is currently there. In the back, I have an example of that sheet metal gutter. It's 5 inches by 5 inches with little 1-inch ears on it to be anchored into the wall. My luck with anchoring on this stuff, and maybe Joe has some pointers for me, but is to use lead anchors in that old brick. It's been my best so far. I did bring a piece of sheet metal that I painted with the paint that matches the outside of the building. That's what the new gutters will be looking like. And all of the pipes and everything will run from where the hole is at the top near the roof, where the regular rain gutter comes out, right next to it. It'll run from that, cover the piping and electrical all the way down to the ledge that's above the door at the Grand. So there's a ledge that comes out about 7 inches from the windows right there above the door. So it'll run down to that, and then the pipes will go into the building there.
Okay. All right, thank you. What's your name?
Austin.
Austin, thank you, Austin. You can go ahead, we'll see if there's any public comment for or against. Did we receive anything, Nina?
No, ma'am.
No emails, no public comment in the audience today. Okay, I'll close that portion of the meeting. And Mr. Ward, staff comments?
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way that it's running through the window, and it looks like that's what they're proposing to do. I think that's inappropriate. I do too. And I think that the window is a historical feature of the building also.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say the same. Coming up to that window's not good.
Okay, thank you both. Opening the board discussion.
So,
Austin, you can come back, we'll probably have questions for you.
so I feel for you cleaning up somebody else's mess. That said, you know, especially our main street downtown, that's the prettiest face of Bisbee, right?
Right.
And so all the trades, whether you're an electrician, a plumber, a solar person, a brick mason, they all have to do your part when you're especially dealing with that part of the building, especially on Main Street and the Gulch. So that said, I would agree with the other folks and maybe suggest changing your design so that you're running this through the inside of the building. I know there's a way to do it. I just don't see. I think the gutter would solve part of the issues, but it doesn't solve the cornice at the top or the window problem at the bottom, right? So for, you know, from the window to the cornice, the gutter, I would be fine with that. It's just going through those windows and going around the cornice. You're kind of splitting the building space in half, right? It's like getting a face tattoo right here, like architecturally speaking.
Right. So I do understand the window part. The cornice part, I'm not really quite grasping what you're saying, because the existing gutter is already there. It's the same.
But it's below that.
Yeah.
The gutter comes out of the roof line below where your tube is coming out. It's a drilled hole through the front of the fascia of the building, and you just can't do that.
Okay.
So that's just for the other board members, that's my recommendation, you know. And,
Okay. So in order to go through the building itself, it will have to like go through hotel rooms,
Yeah,
which is, okay, that's,
I mean, not visible to the public, so.
And there's a lot of other businesses that have had to do the same thing.
Okay.
It's a pain, but this is a historical building on Main Street.
It's one of our
And
most
even with a super clean gutter, it's making a gutter like this giant. It doesn't work, and there's no solution for the intake in the bar.
okay.
Yeah, I agree. It is one of our most prominent and well-known buildings,
Mhm.
and haunted, in addition to everything else. So, yeah, I think this is not the right solution for the issue.
Okay, so what are my next steps?
Yeah, so I would say, come back to us with, the steps you're gonna do to repair the window and the holes that are in the wall. And then also, a couple floor plans showing where the new routing is gonna be, so that we know it's not affecting the facade.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so do we have a motion for,
I would say whatever Ben said, if you
Yeah.
put that in the motion and table it for however.
okay, Ben, would you like to make the motion?
Well,
Real
Sorry,
quick,
sorry.
could
Yeah,
I make a, just a, like, I don't know where I'd go for this. We have do you guys only really work with the outside?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Because I have the ceiling tiles on the inside are problematic in replacing and getting matching, or, you know, to make it still have the historic feel on the inside. So anytime I cut into that ceiling, it's a big problem. I don't know if there's any resources around for me to.
There's a sheet metal company out of Florida that makes reproduction stamped tin ceiling tiles.
Okay.
They might have the same pattern. What you could do is just carefully find the rivets and remove that one, set it aside, tuck it in the ceiling space, and, you know, get a metal worker to make something similar, something nice. That's about it. All right.
Okay, do you want to make a motion, Mr. Lipton?
Sure. I'll make a motion for, to table application 2364, and for the applicant to come back with a repair plan and indication of where the new lines will be placed.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Schubert seconds. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against, say nay. The ayes have it. So the application is tabled until a further date. Thank you, Austin. Okay. Agenda item 6, approval of the August 8, 2023 Design Review Board Special Meeting Minutes. We have a motion to approve. I make a motion to approve the minutes from August 8, 2023. Do we need a second for that?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a
I'll
second.
second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against say nay. The ayes have it, 4-0. Agenda item 6 is approved. Agenda item 7 is a discussion, and if nobody else has to stay, if they do not want to, in the audience here, unless you're really fascinated by us. So we're going to discuss rainwater tanks. All right, so we do have some information on the rainwater tanks in our file, yes? Here?
And I provided Doug's comments
Yeah.
because at the last one, he was gonna do an amendment. And I provided his comments that he thought they were sufficient, but if the board would like to see changes, he would like it discussed.
Yeah, so he says if we would, he'd like us to discuss if we would like to see changes. I read the provision and the guidelines. I feel like it's sufficient as long as, we discuss it. When something comes up that isn't Right.
It was kind of reactionary to, to bringing it to you guys, but it seemed appropriate at the time.
Yeah, I
this
understand.
happened. But and I don't disagree with anything that Doug said, but in our guidelines, they're showing like the underground cistern.
Yeah.
Lots of luck in old Bisbee. Getting your hammer hoe out there for 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to happen. But it's just that they can be really intrusive in the way that they're placed, and it's just something that we will have to watch.
Yeah, I agree. We do have to be vigilant. It does say that if they are impeding sort of the historic visuals of the structure, that they should not do that, right? So, I mean,
People won't put them in front of their picture windows, but they sure put them in front of yours.
yeah.
I wonder, is this open for?
Yeah, we're just discussing.
I wonder if we could do like let's say under 150 gallons or under 100 gallons, something that's, you can move around when it's empty. We just exempt that from.
Yeah, the 200-gallon ones are pretty standard, and they're easily movable.
Yeah. And then anything over that would require DRB approval, and then maybe we could even exempt bright blue ones or bright green, something that somebody would have to paint in, even though we're not supposed to do colors and paint.
Right, and that probably would depend also on what the house looks like, right? Like if it's a bright blue house.
Right.
Then it would blend in.
The tank just happens to match perfectly. That's gonna happen, but, or maybe we can say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I also don't wanna, kinda like solar, I don't wanna impede those things. They're good things to have.
They are.
It's possible to overanalyze these things too.
Well, I mean, you can wrap them in wood or metal and paint them and stuff like that, especially the big ones.
We're never going to see any fewer of them. We're just going to see more.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we should. I mean, I could see restricting something that's huge.
Because
Absolutely.
I could see if somebody got 4 of these IBC tote ones, those white ones with the cage, and like stacked 3 of them vertically, and they're like, well, it's under 200 gallons, so all 4 of these stacked or exempt, and it looks awful. That also being a problem too. So you could say, IBC totes and anything over 200 gallons.
Yeah.
I think that's what those are called.
Yeah, it says it shall not conceal or alter any building or structure's features, materials, design elements, and or character of the historic district. So I think what you're describing is probably concealing something, if it's right next to the house. And in which case we would intervene.
They can also distract from the features.
From the what?
They can distract from historical features.
Right.
Which is just as important as obscuring them.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. If they're just downright ugly and inappropriate. I mean, we do have the power to object and to deny something like that.
But it's hard to define aesthetics because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, same as always,
That's what we're here for. Yeah. So this would require, if we're going to put some provisions into this, we're going to be rewriting the guidelines again, right? And it has to go through the
Yep.
whole loop. Yeah.
We could make a policy.
Okay, explain that to me.
Well, we can make policy, you guys, not we, you can make policy, and we also need to keep track of our policies better than we have been.
Okay.
But I'm looking at 9, and 9 is not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. So if we make a policy, is that kind of like an addendum? when you're not actually changing this, if the policy is a.
Because you're given broad powers as far as the ability to control it. And so if you go beyond, you can go under, you can, but it's like with the banner signs and such like you were saying. That came from a decision, at least 5 years ago, of the design review board, that I kept track of when it was passed and such. And I need to have that into a policy folder so that we can keep some of those, so we know, and that has the effect of law, but it's nothing but a decision by the DRB.
Okay. That's interesting. So, how do we go about making that policy? We just declare that we have a policy now?
I think it'd be appropriate to have to vote on it and,
In a separate meeting?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. But we need to decide what the policy is.
Precisely.
Yeah, have some guidelines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to bring it back next time for a review and discussion again, so that you can make the policy and go to the next meeting and approve, or do you want to approve at the same time you review and discuss?
I think what we need to do is come back with we make sure that when we come back to discuss, we have some specific policy guidelines that we would like to,
And a more full report.
and a fuller board would be nice.
It's always good to go slow.
So discussion at the next meeting again, and
Yes.
then the one after that approval. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds perfect. What do you think? Does that sound good? Okay. All right, cool. And now we're gonna talk about more stuff. Okay, that settles for now the rainwater tanks discussion. So moving on to zoning code article 7, sign regulations. I believe, Mr. Briggs, you were real interested in this topic, yes?
Yep.
Okay, take it away.
Okay, well, Doug
He
wrote
did,
some
he did.
additions to what we discussed briefly. And there were a couple things that I was concerned about. They look good, but on 722H,
Okay, sandwich board.
yeah, I think that it's a little redundant if you look at 748. It says, portable signs may be located on the subject property or in the vicinity. That shouldn't be in there.
I'm sorry, where are you? Maybe
On
I'm,
H,
Oh, yeah.
okay. And then you said it was again somewhere else?
well, on 748, it's kind of, is another redundant thing saying, I mean, it just says you can't have off-site signage. This H pertains directly to sandwich boards.
Okay.
And I think it needs to be more specific, and it certainly can't say or in the vicinity. And I think it needs to be, we need to be clear about it. We need to say you're allowed one sandwich board sign, period. You know, you can't, if it's in the vicinity and people can put 30 sandwich boards like 3 blocks away, that's a nightmare. And that's already happened.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
I think vicinity needs to be defined.
But what is
Because
defined by
one person's
vicinity?
Vicinity is not the same as what we're gonna think it is,
I don't know what you mean.
okay?
Someone's got a sandwich board in the vicinity. They're liable for that sandwich board. Somebody falls over it, knocks over it. On your property, you're insured if that happens on your property. You're not insured, that it just shouldn't be allowed.
So most of the sandwich boards that I see are on the sidewalk, right?
Yeah, like right in front of the
Right
business.
in front of the business. So the sidewalk is public, right? So so I'm saying, I think the sandwich board is okay on the sidewalk right in front of the business.
Yeah.
But putting a whole bunch of them up all on Elm Street for one business would
Well,
not be
if
appropriate.
there's no regulation to it and it's
Yeah.
as vague as in the vicinity, what does that mean? Like in city limits?
That's what I'm saying, vicinity is
Means
needs a
something.
definition, where there needs to be some kind of a distance that you guys could establish, because
Right.
well, I could use people's name. We're currently going through a dispute about a sandwich board.
The grass stop.
No.
Well, that's a different one, but they have it too, yeah.
But there's currently a dispute regarding a sandwich board sign. And I think what they're thinking vicinity is, I don't agree with. But since there's no definition for vicinity, I think what I think has to might prevail in court, but who knows?
So, let me ask you, Joe, what's along Main Street in the Gulch, what's the average lot width? 50 feet, 100 feet?
Sometimes they're 50 feet, sometimes they're 100 feet.
So we could say a proper vicinity could be 100 feet.
I agree
No.
with, I agree with Ed, I mean,
No, no,
vicinity's
there's-
out.
If there's a business, the front of the business has a specific area that is the front of the
And
business.
that would be adjacent.
That's where a sandwich board could go.
So say
You
adjacent.
can't say that they could put a sandwich board in front of somebody else's business. You just can't do that.
It's in front of their business.
Yeah,
Period.
it's very simple.
No
period.
vicinity.
There's one in front of their
I agree.
business.
But what if the other business is fine with that?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, because then others will
There are
take
liability
advantage
issues
of that.
as well.
Right.
So the one example that I'm thinking of, because of where their business is, it's hard to see and nobody really goes up that
Yeah.
street. So they've been putting it on the corner and then they put another one in that little walkway between the bank and the.
I think that's a problem.
Survives there.
But
Yeah,
nothing
so there's
shop,
two.
but that's
But nothing survives in that strip because.
But that's not really our problem. That's not our problem. We're not here to promote every sort of
It is the
business. We're
city's
here
problem if
to,
they're losing sales tax. It is the city's problem if they're losing sales tax.
no, it's not our problem though. We're the design review board. We're not the city finance department. It's really simple. There's liability issues. The city should be concerned about that. I don't know why it's such a big deal.
Well, so what I think is that if a business is really obscure, then they need to put it somewhere where people will see it when they're just walking by, like the one I'm talking about. You know
If
what
a
I'm saying?
business is
Not
really
two,
obscure,
not two.
they've got to figure out other ways to make their presence known. Through advertising, that's what businesses do.
Yeah.
It's not about sandwich boards being put wherever you want to put them. That's not going to make or break a business. If that's what's making or breaking your business, then that's a problem. If there's not a sandwich board on the corner.
But there's also a reason why businesses don't survive on that strip. It's not a visible.
And that's why the rents are lower, and people want to.
The rents are lower, and you
Because they
sign a
want to
lease,
advertise other
and,
places.
you know, Redbone does fantastic.
Yeah, but they're on the corner.
Yeah.
But then, you know, people have talked about putting a kiosk that shows where the businesses are. It's not, I think we're creating a monster if it's loose like that.
Well, that's why I said like 50.
Yeah, but I mean, it
50
doesn't have to
feet.
be loose, and we could restrict it to one sandwich board, and it can't be in front of somebody else's business, you know, like, if there's a way,
Without permission.
yeah, without permission, yeah. Like, I understand that some of these businesses really, like, I wouldn't even know about them if I wasn't walking along, and I see, well, I think I'm kind of craving a smoothie right now. Go up there, you know.
I mean, I see that point of it, but I think we're opening a can of worms by saying, okay, one person can do it. That means everybody can do it. It's
Okay,
very,
but
very simple.
What's
You
the
can't-
problem that we have right now? Like, what, is somebody abusing the sandwich board thing? And I mean, I'm not sure
No, but they will and they have.
they will and they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, they have.
And what does
There's
that
been
look
businesses
like?
that put sandwich boards in 2 or 3 places around town,
Yeah,
not even close to their business.
yeah, well, they shouldn't do that.
Right.
I think if they need to put one that's a little bit away from their business just because people are walking by.
I know they shouldn't do it, but it should be in writing.
Well, no,
And,
I agree with
mean,
you, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
So, so there's also some play on words here because I believe that Canyon Suites is one property.
That whole thing.
Yeah. So that sandwich board still could go on the corner and still be on the property.
Well, I
Yeah.
understand, yeah.
Very well could be, yeah.
Well,
And
like,
they've also talked people on that street. Everybody knows it's a tough little street.
Yeah.
They talked about, but never got together, talking to the city and getting a permit, having someone design a really nice kiosk that shows all the buildings going up
That'd be
there.
cool.
Or a
Yeah.
row of vertical.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
those
could, it
kind of
could look
things.
really nice and it could be
I think
designed.
they should have neon, but That's, no, I'm serious, neon's historic,
Yeah, it's allowed.
but.
I've seen the abuse of this, and I just think
Yeah.
we either have to decide that it's allowed or not allowed. Because you can't have one person have it be allowed.
Well, I would say.
Because we like their shop and we like.
No, I understand that.
I would say, instead of saying in front of the business, you could say in front of the property, so that gives them a
Well,
little
they
bit
rent
more.
from that property,
So
yeah.
it gives them a little bit more.
I think that would be fine,
Okay, I
because,
agree with that. Yeah.
because the building property person would sign off on it, and if anything happened, they would clearly be liable, and they would understand that.
Yeah.
I
And
think
it takes care of that particular.
That takes care of that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
I'm just tired of seeing businesses come and go that are like,
Nice business.
you know, and as an architect, I know it's kind of the location of the building. It's not the business's fault necessarily.
Yeah, I understand
So
that, but
obviously, if it's a really.
I don't
big
think
business-
they've gone full tilt on what
Sure.
they could do to promote that street. And I think once those, you know, I just don't think the sandwich board thing, sorry, it's a little bugaboo of mine, but some of them just really look like crap, and they're dangerous, and I saw an old lady trip on one, the one in the causeway,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just, it's horrible.
Okay, so, all right.
We'll take
So-
it back for revisions.
Yeah,
I'll make
take it
sure
back
Mr.
for
Taylor has
revisions.
all the information that was discussed tonight,
Great.
and then I'll bring it back if he has time.
And I think our wording is on the property, right?
Yeah.
Or in front
And
of
then
the
that would
property.
cover that.
Right, in
Yeah,
front of the
on the
property.
property, because that whole building, that's very simple. And it could be done the same way at any of these other big buildings that have several businesses in there. I think that covers it. But
Okay,
A little bit of flexibility.
okay, so are we sending this back to Doug to revise?
Yeah, I'll type up the minutes for him more verbatim for this issue so that he can have the revisions, and then I'll ask him if he has time to do it for the next meeting.
Excellent. Great, okay, thank you. Okay, that resolves for the time being Agenda Item 8, and Agenda Item 9 is review and discussion regarding solar applications.
So Mr. Gaffer's not here, but he and I, at the last meeting, he discussed about the solar applications being lacking. We're having to go back to the applicant 3 or 4 times because they're not understanding what we're asking for. And so he thought a simple guide may help them when it's a solar. And so with his help, we put the simple guide together. And this is just review and discussion. But it will still have to go through the regular process. You know, it'll have to be voted on that we use that for solar.
I'd like to, since this is discussion, right?
Just discussion.
I mean, this is something I wanted to talk about anyways, and I would say, I would be willing to allow administrative approval for specific solar installations where you're matching the roof pitch and you're flat against the roof, and that's all, you know, if there's any kind of tilt to it or anything, I wouldn't, but we're getting so many of these now, and if like both of the ones today, I would have been fine if those were administratively approved because they were matching the roof deck or the roof pitch. And to me, it's like kind of like a swamp pool, or it's way better than a swamp pool or something like that. That's just my opinion, or a chimney,
Yeah.
but.
But the problem was, nobody could administratively approve it because we couldn't get them to understand what they needed to submit to us, because we don't need to have all their electrical plans
Technical
and all
stuff,
of that. What we really need to do is see what it looks like on the house,
Yep.
Yeah,
you know, and provide
case in
a,
point,
yes,
this thing.
yes,
Oh my
it
goodness,
took,
and it's double-sided.
yeah.
And they drove all the way from Tucson like that. The
Yeah.
homeowner pays for that. You know, they're not.
Yeah,
gonna
but
do
we
that.
went back and forth probably a good I'm gonna say 4 or 5 emails because they weren't quite understanding. And so I think that if we make a policy, we could, for that, giving administrative approval for that, could we make a policy for that?
I think we have to change the zoning code to be specific.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And visible from the street is also big.
But
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much you charge for extra, for having to drive down from Tucson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
They drive all the way down to bring a ladder from Phoenix all the time. To bring a ladder for me to get up on the roof after they're all done. They do it all the
I
time.
mean, that's a few grand right there just for that.
Every week that happens. There's a lot, there's a
Yep.
lot of profit margin on that.
So what would you like to do? Bring it back for a more
Yeah, I'd like
discussion?
to have more of the board here to discuss. than-
I just
than
wanted
before. Yeah, oh, yeah,
to
yeah,
share
absolutely.
my.
Sure.
Oh, no, I just
Opinion.
wanted to make sure I knew what we were doing.
Yeah, so let's table it,
Absolutely.
bring it back for discussion with the rest of the board.
Yep, no need to
Or
table
at
it.
least one more of the board members.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in the back of the house, you know, that could be worked out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
As
then
Joe
maybe
said, we
ones
may
that
have to
wanna
change
do-
the zoning code.
Yeah,
It's
Oh, I
just,
see.
it's just really tricky with the sun. I mean,
Yeah.
If they're facing north, it's not gonna generate.
it won't do enough, yeah. And it's a fact of life, we need to have more
Yeah,
of
we do
these.
need to have more of it,
We
yeah.
have to live with that. And water tanks.
And water tanks. We're all gonna die. We all gonna die. It's our fault. Okay, so we'll bring it back when we have more of the board.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was just
good.
presenting it to you to see.
Oh,
so
thank you,
can see.
and I appreciate it too, because it is, I agree with you, like, I felt like these could have possibly been administratively approved. Maybe not the one that's on both sides of the house, I think that's good that we discussed it, but the other one was pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
I agree.
So, yeah, all right, we'll figure out how we want that to be handled, and if we do need to change the zoning, we'll make a recommendation and see if it flies.
Not the end of the world, it's easy to do.
Yep.
All right, so now, I guess we've gone through our extra items. Do we have any staff comments on the administratively approved items on the list?
Not on those, but Joe, would you please mention what we started September 1st?
Oh.
And then also about the administrative approval for, shoot, I just lost it. We just talked about this Friday. I literally just lost it. About changing so that we could do administrative approval on something. Oh my gosh,
We have way too much on our plates to know that.
I am so sorry.
Well, what was the September 1st thing? Because you'll
Yeah.
probably remember if you stop trying.
Yeah. Mechanical appliances that are installed on the exterior of buildings now have to get DRB approval because of a certain installation that showed us that we really needed some control on it. And as well as the electric services and the conduits and such that they can potentially run all over the outside.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody doing that. No, I'm kidding.
Just when you think it's safe to go back to water, you know? But, yeah, no, it's.
And we have
We've got to
had,
have a little bit of, not that we're going to exercise so much control, but we've always had the ability to do this, and we're going to make sure that they're getting done right instead of getting done.
Yeah.
so, we have talked to some electricians, their concerns. We're not gonna make it a hard process. I'm gonna put something together so that they know they're not gonna have to wait 30 days. It's not gonna ruin their business.
Right.
We wanna make it as expedient as we can, but we don't want another incident like we have at the last application.
Right.
A little more oversight, and I still can't remember what that was.
It'll come eventually. You can take care of it next month.
I hate that though when I can't remember.
No, and the harder you try, it's like as soon as you get it to your mind, it jumps back in there,
But you know, with my staff comments, on 5 days a week now, being that we've got an inspector 5 days a week, we're catching a lot more things, and we're getting a lot of this backlog kind of things taken care of. So it's been, that's been very helpful,
Yeah,
not cheap and not free
right,
for the
right.
city, but it really has been helpful.
On these days.
I hate to leave Javier with all this backlog.
Yeah.
too.
Well, and so many people are doing construction too right now.
We've got 5 houses going on right now, brand new houses.
Wow.
It's counting the ones that have been turned into me lately. We've never had more than one going at any time.
Wow.
So it's really exciting. I mean, I'm really happy for us that this is a big deal for the city, but it's a lot of work.
Okay, well, you know, we can bring it up next time.
I will remember, I thought I wrote it down somewhere,
You
but
can send us
apparently
an
I didn't.
email, you
I
know?
certainly will.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably on my Post-it on my desk.
That gets on road on post.
You need to put the post-it right here, then you'll know that where it is.
Bring it back.
You know, like-
Yes, sir.
Could I bring up something for future discussion?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In the case of our favorite place, as infamously known as the Chocolate Factory,
Mhm.
I wanted to know about the big caged walls that are right off the sidewalk that appear instead of a fence. And I don't recall any kind of application for that. Big, giant, thick caged walls with rocks right off the sidewalk.
The Gabion walls.
Yeah, and
Okay,
there's
I'll
going to
bring
be a
that.
big frame that goes up, so it's a fairly major thing, and am I right, there's been no application for that?
I'm not sure, but we can't really discuss it.
Yeah, I'll have to
Okay,
look.
Sorry, yeah,
I'll look. What I'll do is I will look tomorrow, and then I'll get back with the board.
okay, thanks.
Are there any other future agenda item suggestions by anybody? Okay, you have yours.
No, I just wanted to talk about the solar thing some more next time.
Okay, great.
Okay?
All right. In that case, I move that we adjourn today's meeting. Do I need a motion on that?
Uh-huh. Somebody needs a second.
Second.
Okay, all right. All in favor say aye. Aye. This meeting of the Design Review Board is adjourned.